best wishes. And good morning, I'm Bob Notches sitting alongside Malice. You just heard the Scotland National Anthem, and now we will play the anthem for Team Wales. And once again, hello everyone. Thanks for joining us. We are at City Center.
City of Manchester.
City Center.
The event center.
The event center. I got it right. Trafford Center in Manchester City. I'm Bob Notches, sitting alongside Malice.
Hello.
Welcome to the very first game of this morning.
This is
at least on the roll line track.
Yes, on the roll line track. Here we are. We have Team Wales in green lining up against Team Scotland in blue. It is number 13, Boris, with the star for Wales here on this first jam. And number 99, Not Sorry, Laurie for
Not
Scotland.
Sorry, Laurie, no way she's Canadian at all.
Definitely not Canadian.
Not going to work out, no.
Okay, in the previous game of these two teams, Scotland actually the winners, and here lower ranked than Wales, currently ranked in at number 12. Wales ranked in at number 9. Let's see how accurate.
And when we talk about the rankings, these are the current rankings, as everything will be retabulated at 5 o'clock our time.
Yeah, these are the current ranking games. Lead jammer, though, is awarded to Not Sorry Laurie, but being recycled there by Jones. Boris is out at the front, which means Not Sorry Laurie's going to call that one dead. Quick turnaround there by Scotland, and the Welsh bench manager Blitzkrieg running in quickly to confer with one of the officials in the middle.
And we're going to have Liston up against Peacock.
From what we can see, it may be trouble with the feed. It looks like it may have frozen. But if you are having problems, we will try and describe what's going on as best we can. On track, Mort, number 7, pushing through. Peacock is at the outside edge, trying to find something, but Mort sees a gap down the inside. Going around corner 2, lead jammer does go to Wales. Peacock not on the outside of corner 2, sees a gap open up on the inside, straight down the straightaway goes Peacock. Mort now on a scoring pass, closing in on the back of the pack. Wales with a loose 3, but more rounds through her own blockers and then through the Scottish, picking up the first points of the game as 4 points are awarded to Wales.
And this time around we have Not Sorry Laurie for Team Scotland up against Sally Jones.
That is Landsberg there for Scotland. Sorry, not Sally Jones. Sorry, not Sorry Laurie. Number 792 Landsberg with the start. And
you can see both packs pushed up towards the pivot line. And now we're going to have an official timeout, it appears.
Looks like the scores haven't gone up on the board, on the official scoreboard either. So that may be why we are having the late scoreboard. Has to be kept up to date at all times, obviously. Whilst we wait for this to go through, let's quickly give you a quick shout out to S1 helmets, the official helmet of the 2018 Roller Derby World Cup. The S1 Lifer helmet, best fit and best protection, made for roller derby. Get a lifer, be a lifer. S1, the official helmet of the 2018 Roller Derby World Cup. Pretty well represented, I've seen here today already. Looks like the scoreboard is now up to date. So again, that is number 792 Landsborough with the start for Scotland, and number 777 Sally Jones for Wales. Looks like the stream is now going. You can see the crowd here. This is going to be one of the most well-respected ones we're going to see. We're still waiting for some official work to go through at the Scotland bench.
Officials still trying to work out. We don't know if it's the score, or potentially maybe the time wasn't running right either. We just know that one exciting jam into this game.
Two. One was not so exciting, but the second was pretty fun.
Very true. The first one was so unexciting I forgot about it.
That was a quick call off because everything went horribly, horribly wrong.
Sounds like how most of my travel goes, except for my trip here to Manchester. And we're going to start once again. We've got both teams up on the pivot line. We've got blockers for both teams in the box. Looks like it should be an advantage for Wales.
A single blocker advantage for the Welsh. Sally Jones runs into the brace 2, crumbles down at the front. Only one to beat, but they did enough as Landsborough is out front. Not Lee Jammer though, a no pass, no penalty. Jones is lead, but they're going to try and go for it. I think they're clearing the box here. Looks like, yes, they are clearing the box.
Pack is set up so that she can come through and score. So she'll get the quick 2 or 3, and she's going to try to call it off, but because of the hit, she wasn't able to tap her hips.
Not that second time. The first one counts. Got to get the second.
I have to say, Malice, that's the first time I've ever seen that happen.
Ooh, a bit of a pile up on the straightaway there, but everyone is back up and skating. Landsborough still trying to find their way through the pack. Jones at the front with a rotating brace 3 in front of her. Landsborough popped off to the inside. Gets the point.
And she realizes that that block was continued out of bounds. She keeps going. She's going to call off the jam. Quite an interesting development. Was looking to call that jam off to prevent any scoring at all by the opposition. And just as she does so, she gets the one tap in, she gets hit, loses control, and can't get the second tap on the hips.
We do have now for the next jam number 13, Boris for Wales, and number 64, Semple for Scotland. Scotland with a single blocker advantage here. Semple is pushing up the front on a braced 3. Boris, though, takes advantage down the inside for Lee Jammer.
And now we see Semple come out of the pack. She's going to be in hot pursuit. We'll see if they try to pull any points off of this. Pack not stacked in the way that she's going to want it, though.
Yeah, you may have seen the back of your screen there. Semple taking a stumble at corner 4, giving Boris a little bit more time.
And she's going to go for it. They're going to keep her going. And Boris right there
picks up the 4 points.
And Semple through the pack with another 4.
Yeah,
love the communication. Boris telling them to go ahead and run, and that's what they're going to do. And this is going to work. Nice job. Very well executed.
+2 on the differential there. As Boris to pick up a second on the second pass, 2 more points. You can see, or we can see, I don't know if you have the visual of it, the bench manager Blitzkrieg indicating long by stretching his hands wide apart. So they are going to look to run the clock here. The differential still does matter today because today's still about rankings.
Absolutely.
Until 5.
As you heard Malice say, they are going to play games until 5 o'clock this evening, at which point everything will be re-ranked.
Not sorry, Laurie with the star number 99 as Mort is run back by Liston. 7 versus 0-7 there. Brace 3 against Mort. Mort breaks through the middle, sees a gap down the outside. Lead jammer Wales.
Yeah, and in the meantime, not sorry, Laurie stuck at the back of the pack.
Quick star pass over the top though to number 7 Little, but Little knocked off to the inside, now recycled all the way back. And again off to the outside goes Little there at corner 2.
Oh, nice work on a tiptoe the outside line. A little Walenda in that girl.
Mort there, very powerful jammer. Able to resist the hits on the outside line, hold her position, and then make her way through for points. Not that time though, as Liston did knock her down to the outside, sorry, knock her off to the outside with a little hip jab.
And tell me there's not a better derby name than Liston.
It's a good one.
That time around, Little going to get forced out of bounds.
Mort now, after a few successful passes here, stuck behind a brace 3 from Scotland on her 3rd scoring pass. Dos Santos trying to get in the mix there to break things up and not able to help. Ooh, Mort knocked to the outside this time by Liston again.
And she will look over to the bench. She's going to call it off. As you know, Malice, once the feet stop moving, you don't have much space or any leverage to work with.
Nope.
So she very wisely stops at where it is. Nice run though, 15-0 in favor of Team Wales. We're looking at a score of 29-8.
And number 50 Peacock here for Scotland, going up against number 17 Jenkill.
Had the opportunity to see Peacock play against Team Argentina in the warm-up games in Dublin. Of course, Peacock always a pleasure to watch on the track.
Peacock knocked down there by a brace 2 at corner 1, getting some support. And lead jammer goes to Scotland's Peacock, who is tearing down the straightaway with some real drive as a cut track is issued to Jenkill, and it will be a power jam now to Scotland and a real chance to get back into this game.
Yeah, Peacock making the absolute most of this. You can see the pack is setting up right now. And they're going to opt to stand still, try to stop Peacock that way. Peacock going to try to power through the front. Going to be able to do so. Gets to that final 2 wall. That's another 5.
Yep. Going static against Peacock, not a wise idea. Very strong, powerful skater.
I can't agree more. And we've got a couple players down on the front stretch.
Jenkill has been released from the box, running into 4 Scottish blockers. The Welsh down to 2, though, down to 1 as Bexon heading to a already full bin.
Oh. And now as you saw that, Peacock, actually, Peacock had a little bit of an opening on the inside, took that thing outside to where there was just a little bit of space. Nobody thought Peacock was going to go that direction.
Yeah, Peacock there just totally drew everyone one way or went the other. Showing the experience there from Peacock. Jenkill now completing her initial pass.
Big jam for Peacock.
24 points.
Puts Team Scotland back on top.
Correction, 28 points and a significant lead change to Scotland.
And it's always incredible when we come to the World Cup because some of the games are scratch and claw and some of the games are a game of runs. And right there, you saw a gap closed up very quickly by Peacock with a 28-0 run against Team Wales.
Looking at the numbers for the rankings, There's 3 spaces in it, but the actual distance much smaller in the actual hardcore ranking, the nitty-gritty numbers, which most of us don't have to worry too much about. I just go bigger is better on the number side, and I won't worry about the equations behind it. Looks like we have an official timeout here.
I tell you what, being that we have a timeout, why don't you explain a little bit more about what happens at 5 o'clock today and how that affects tomorrow?
Well, just as that official timeout comes up, basically it is at 5 o'clock tonight. We will re-rank based on all the scores we've had over the previous 2 days. Score differentials being the most important factor as well as the win. And from that we will establish who the top 16 are. And that top 16 will go into a knockout competition starting at approximately 7:30 tonight. GMT for those of you watching in different time zones.
There you go. So already tonight the single bracket elimination begins. Of course, other teams will play consolation games for ranking purposes as Boris is out on the track and lead jammer.
It is 792 Lansborough for Scotland in the mix there at corner 2. The helmet cover is off her head, but Boris going to the bin for a forearms penalty. Lansborough takes the no pass, no penalty. No, it's a cut track. The jam referee believed it to be a no pass penalty. Looked to the OPR, got some clarification. Cut track issued to Lansborough, but to switcheroo because Boris was sat. It'll be a short one for Lansborough.
Boris could have hit that 3-wall pretty hard, but going to get some help.
Some big offensive assistance there by 0-1-1 Beckson. Second time I've seen some lovely work by the blocker there, helping their jammer out.
And there's no question that through the weekend, it's the offensive blocking that separates the teams who are in the backside of the rankings to the front.
It's about being dynamic.
Yep.
Too many people are often stuck in a singular tactic. Being able to flow and change things up looks very, very strong.
And what's really been interesting is we've seen teams with very different styles and how they pull it off.
Yep. It'll be very interesting to see how that goes into the elimination game starting later on tonight. Back on track, Scotland, jammer Lansborough has been sent back to the box. They're serving a full 30-second penalty. They are standing and released. Boris, though, does pick up a 5-point pass. Big score here from Wales to get back into this and back into the lead. If Lansborough is picking up some points there, nope, no dice.
And a nice 10-0 run for Boris. And, of course,
that's the lead change. Well, I'm expecting to see
this is pretty much the slugfest we expected, Malice. No surprise here.
Not at all. This is Scotland versus Wales in almost every single sport going. This is the kind of game we get. It's neck and neck all the time. For those of you watching the rugby, the football.
Well, just the fact that it's 9:30 in the morning, and I would say we've got somewhere around 600 or 700 people surrounding us.
Oh, definitely. The S1helmet.co-track definitely has the most seating. And I'm seeing a lot of empty seats over there because everyone's here to watch this game. And this will be exactly what we expected. During this team timeout, let's have a quick shout out here to our lovely, lovely sponsors, Rydell. Rydell, make your skates your own with custom colored, handcrafted Color Lab boots by Rydell.
And we also want to take a moment to say thanks to Frogmouth. Frogmouth uniforms is what most World Cup teams are wearing. And nearly all of them are a special kind of reversible jersey. And we'll talk about that a little more in a moment as we get started here again. 19:02 remaining.
So it's number 64 Semple for Scotland against number 7 Mort for Wales. Mort out the front. Oh, going defensive, knocks Semple down on the outside. Lovely work, switching dynamic by Mort. But lead jammer has been awarded to Semple, who is behind Mort going down the straightaway at the pivot line.
Semple looking over at the coach, and I think the coach and Semple trying to iron out which one was actually lead jammer because it was very close when they came out.
There was a little clarification. The Scotland coach was also looking at the penalty box. Liston currently standing. I think a lot of clock management was in play there, trying to get Liston out.
Makes sense. Hoping that he could get her out on the track before the jam. Wasn't going to happen. They were moving too fast. Pack was moving too slow.
Yep. Especially now Wales starting here with a 4-on-2 blocker advantage. Not Sorry Laurie versus Jenkill at the jam line. Sorry, Sally Jones, not Jenkill, my apologies.
And Jones is going to be your lead jammer. Nice little hop skip through turn number 1. Not Sorry Laurie, still stuck in the pack as you see her get recycled. Oh, nice shot on your screen at home.
Oh, lovely apex hop by Not Sorry Laurie and straight through for the initial pass.
Air Laurie gets the landing gear down, didn't even disrupt our beverage service.
Exactly, wonderful thing there. See, Wales gave Not Sorry Laurie a little bit of space as they were on the run back, and Laurie using that space to gain speed, momentum, and air miles.
Yep, there you go.
Peacock versus Boris here now. For
Those are the friendlies guys. Those are the kind that they don't actually pull you off the plane and beat you up.
Peacock with the big jam that got Scotland in the lead for the first time. Boris, though, has been impressive. This should be an interesting contest of similar style jammers.
Exactly. I was just thinking the same thing.
And here we have the big scrum of pushing. Boris at the back on a loose brace. So he sees to get around the outside, edges on the toes, but recovered by the pivot. Brace 2 in front of Boris, who is pushing as hard as they can. Out of play issued, and lead jammer goes to Boris.
Nice job by Boris using that entire outside line to leverage their body.
Peacock stashing the star here.
Oh my.
But that pivot is in the bin, so it doesn't help things here.
Penalty really hurting. Blocker comes off track, opens up the inside lane for Boris. Boris on another lap now. And Boris streaking down the outside of the back stretch.
Peacock trying to fight through, not to the inside.
Man, what a shot right there, Pip Gray.
Yep, but not legal as Pip Gray's headed to the bin. Now with only one blocker on track, Peacock seeing some space open up, completes their initial pass, but not legal. There's a 4-off penalty in there, so it will be a power jam now to Boris, and a real chance here for Wales to stretch out this lead.
Scotland going to try and use it. Oh, they're going to get a third. Not going to stop Boris.
Oh, sorry, Bob. A cut track issue to Boris there, just on the outside edge. So with 20 seconds left to play, we probably will see Boris. Yes, Boris will be iced here at the end of the jam unless Peacock picks up another penalty.
And you see Peacock right there fighting. Oh, dropped backwards. That's going to be number 11, Nakilla.
Yeah, but coupled in there with 0-1-1 Bexon. A very lethal pairing already showing here for Wales. The star has been passed to Shorty, though, as the jam comes to its natural conclusion. I said Boris iced in the bin, I believe, so we will hope.
So Not Sorry Laurie going to get the power. I'm sorry, that's going to be, I am sorry.
Lansborough.
That's going to be Lansborough that's going to get the power start.
Yeah, the Cheese Balls penalty box seeing a lot of business this game.
Oh, you're not kidding.
This is what happens with a Wales-Scotland game. It gets feisty.
Yeah, but that's what we like.
Yeah, that's why this is the game.
Exactly.
Yeah, this is the game.
That's why Liston is in this game.
Big shout out to Double Threat Skates. Expert advice from experienced staff. Head to doublethreatskates.co.uk.
And once again, I want to say thank you to Frogmouth. Most of the teams out here at the World Cup wearing a very special kind of reversible jersey. It's a one jersey dyed on both sides to make 2 tops for the weight of 1.
It's pretty good. I mean, I've seen the Scotland are wearing the Frogmouth jersey. I can see that. A few teams I've seen, it looks excellent. I mean,
yep.
Back in my day, we were cotton with Sharpies.
Oh my goodness. Malice, if we go back to my day, they hadn't invented sweat-wicking clothing. But you can find out more about them at frogmouthclothing.com. So
here we have, looks like Liston's taken a knock, got hands on the ankle, being treated by a medic. Did look a little unstable in the previous jam, so might be a minor injury there, something that he worked on. Looks like Liston is going to continue though. Or is it going to be a swap in the box? I think we are currently during an official timeout whilst this is being confirmed. So current stats showing Boris for Team Wales 3 out of 4 leads, and how many points is that, Bob? Is that
39?
Ooh, that's over half the points for Wales.
And we know that Peacock makes up all but 8 points on one jam.
Yes, indeed.
For Team Scotland.
That is correct, Bob Noxious.
That's as good as my memory's going to get, buddy.
And that is why we have our wonderful producer, Sonia Blade, here, who is keeping us honest with the facts and the figures, making sure nothing is missed.
Well, Sonia is definitely giving us facts and figures. Keeping us honest is a whole different story.
So we are about a quarter of the way through this game, 14 minutes and change on the clock. Yes, we have had number 102 Seaton replace Liston in the cheese balls penalty box. Boris is standing. So Landsborough is out front, picks up the lead jammer. Boris, helmet cover off, straight into a brace 3, looking for a quick pass through to Mort, I believe that is. No, it's not Mort. It's number 6. That's Chantel, or Evans, as her shirt says. Has the star completed her initial pass, but no points.
And so here we are, 16 minutes into the first half. Team Scotland on a 4-0 run, down by 27 points. 40 points, all scored in 3 jams. Team Wales up by 27 at the moment. So Team Wales definitely throwing in some big jams, chipping away a little bit. Scotland really riding the wave of the 28-point jam by Peacock.
Really needs to get their other jammers firing. As Semple tries to take the outside line, shut down hard by Pip Gray. And at the front, lead jammer goes to number 7, Mort.
Oh, nice pass there. Just gonna kind of pass some bodies by tiptoeing the inside on the toe stops.
There's a directional gameplay penalty issued there to Kemp, who sat in the bin.
And we've seen a star pass. That's going to be now number 64, Semple.
No, Semple who had the star. It was a stash. As we see Riot, number 09, is still pivoting there. With the cheeky star stash. Shorty heading to the bin as Semple gets out and picks up 4 points. Mort, though, already on 9 and on a 3rd scoring pass. Mort picks up a further 3 for a 3-to-1 scoring ratio in this jam for Wales and stretching this lead out.
Yeah, right now Team Scotland not only needs to put up some points on the board, they need to get some more lead jams. That's really been killing them.
The cheese balls penalty box is where the real problem's coming from.
Yeah.
They cannot seem to field 5 players at once consistently.
Well, the rotation in and out of there has been so heavy that it's going to put some people into some serious foul trouble come the second half.
Yeah, not sorry, Laurie, with the star for Scotland here. Out the front as Sally Jones is
there you see Jones on the screen. Jones with a nice pirouette through the turn number 2. Jones going to be your lead jammer. Not sorry, Laurie. We got the helmet cover in hand. But Little, long ways away. There's Little's going to come back and take it. Oh, nice job right there.
Dos Santos.
Yep.
Wonderful work, shutting down that outside line. Penalty direction and gameplay issued to Chantel or Evans. We'll go with Evans as that's what's on her shirt. That's what I'll say with that. Oh, again, Side Jones takes the outside.
Oh. Nice run by Jones. Jones not intimidated at all by the fact that Little is behind. Jones goes ahead, attempts a full pass, he's going to get it. Puts 14 up on the board. And that's going to be a 14-0 run. 93 Wales, 44 Team Scotland.
But this time, Scotland with the blocker advantage, I think for the first time in a little while here, as number 13, Boris, takes a start for Wales against 792 Lansborough. Lansborough sees the outside, inside.
Nice work.
There we go. Lead jammer goes to Scotland, first time in a while for them, and they have the blocker advantage. It's showing they're using it.
Lansborough just passing through a little bit of daylight on that inside line.
And here goes a forearms penalty for Wyatt, who sat in the cheese balls penalty box. Lansborough calls the jam, picking up a much needed.
And that's an important lead jam because Boris has just been a machine.
Yeah. Lansborough picks up 3 points there. A little conversation between the jam referee and the OPL for clarification. So it's 3 points needed for Scotland, and they are still 46 points behind.
And of course, Malice, we have to give credit to the officiating crew. We've got international officiating crew, so we've got individuals that don't even necessarily talk the same language.
Yep.
Officiating has been incredibly consistent this weekend.
But they're Patterson jamming, I think, for the first time today. Picks up a quick lead jammer.
Yep, that is Patterson's first time.
And against a very, very dangerous opponent in Mort. Liston, though, okay now after the ankle knock, heading to the bin. Mort pulls. Straight
jammer
through.
penalty. I think we were both sitting here wondering why they wasn't getting called off. Well, that's because
the
she had already been penalized.
Yeah, as Mort here comes on another scoring pass.
Oh, nice patience and letting her set that up.
Oh.
And she's going to get through Scotland's last two blockers. So many times the jammer's going to pass that lead block. In that particular moment, let it settle and followed through.
Yeah, the blockers here setting up their defense on the corners, which is foolish. The corners are where jammers love to hit you. It's stretched open. You've got a great angle to cut to the outside, then back to the in. You want to set up your defense on the straightaway there for a more solid defensible position. Having that bracing on the corner is very risky behavior there from the blockers.
Well, and with Wales already having another blocker in the mix, keep it from falling up. Oh, and there we see Mort.
It's not, though. It's a cut track for 77, Patterson, and a forearms for Mort. It's going to be who sits down first.
This is like a jammer drag race.
Patterson from the
disadvantage. Mort sat down for a second, said that felt good, and then realized had to get up and run.
Mort, though, takes it, sees the outside line, slips past 2, 3, 4, out for another scoring pass, and the jam comes to its natural conclusion.
And nice job by Wales. Their transition from defense to offense has been excellent. And even when Scotland is keeping all of the team on the track, right now they're having a difficult time trying to stop the offense of Team Wales.
We have an official review here by the Scottish coach Techno. During this, let's talk about Cheeseballs Precision Skate Bearings, our penalty box sponsors. Cheeseballs bearings are the #1 Derby-owned and operated skate bearing, except no imitations. Available at the Quad Skate Shop booth or online. Cheeseballs Precision Skate Bearings.
And I tell you that that's one of the many sponsors that we have to thank, not only for the World Cup, but for their dedication to sponsoring so many events.
Yeah, and if you've ever been to a tournament of this scale before, they call it a merch village. Not today, it's a merch city.
Yeah, yep.
We have everyone here helping out, supporting us.
It reminds me of the town that I live in, minus all of the livestock. Yeah.
Going back to the officiating for a second, as an experienced announcer, I've been sat here many times calling game, and I've gone, I don't 100% agree with that referee call from my perspective. And I've not had that moment at all this weekend so far. I've been like, that's a great call, that's a great call, that's a great call. And it's been such a wonderful level of officiating.
And here's an interesting stat for you. We've got Jones with 100% lead jam, 23 points. That's called a good day at the office.
That is a good day at the office right there. Of course, Patterson had the one jam and the one lead jammer, so 100% lead jammer there for Patterson as well. I'm going to love to hear the result. This is a long official review. That's usually an indication of a very interesting point of contention. Alt referee sprinting out to us now.
So Malice, maybe you can answer this for me, because I've always wondered, when it comes to officiating, can you be a jam ref if you're missing a digit?
That's an interesting question.
Or like half? Well, would it be 4.5 points?
Well, Rourke in the game yesterday indicating a 4-point pass and then a single point pass, indicated 4 with one hand and 1 with the other. You've got 2 hands, it's an option.
There you go. I've got my answer.
Yeah, we are waiting.
I can finally sleep at night.
Oh, I'm glad to hear it. Still waiting for the result of the official review.
And in the meantime, we've got jam back. The teams are off and running. Peacock going to find room on the inside. He's going to pass Jones at the very last moment in the backstretch.
But Scotland down to 2 blockers.
Yep, and now the burners are on. And Peacock's going to go for it. And Peacock's going to get trapped in the full blocking staff of Team Wales. And that's going to be advantage Jones. Four-3 run. And right now, Scotland looking to put a little duct tape on some of the holes. A lot of it's self-created.
Yep.
We know, though we don't have an official count, we know that there's a number of these players that are probably going to be facing foul-out problems coming up in the second half. And we are learning that the official timeout, Scotland was looking for a penalty on the Wales jammer for leaving the box too early. It's not going to stand.
After showing that previous jam.
Or that will stand, sorry, and they will lose their official review.
But there we have the Scottish jammer. Lansborough picks up a quick cut track penalty. Heads in. Boris, who's been so effective, is now unopposed.
I tell you, Banger's doing as good a job as you're going to have an opportunity to do with that. But this is too many times already that we've seen just 1 or 2 blockers on the track for Team Scotland.
Wales blockers much less penalty heavy, and it shows as they've been able to shut down Scotland's blockers, Scotland's jammers over and over again.
Oh, nice move by Boris right there. Sees the hip check coming, able to slide off of it, and Lansborough now through the pack with the star stash, going to put it back on her head. And little no match up front for Boris all by herself.
Yeah, Boris there was able to get the call quite comfortably. And
well, when you're skating backwards and you're one-on-one with somebody like Boris.
Well, Boris there did concede 3 points at the death. And one that is really unable to stop, but a quick clarification with the jam referees and a conversation going amongst the officials. We have an official timeout here. So there may be something that's going to come of this shortly. A quick shout out to Kaya Skates. Kaya Skates, this is how a skate's supposed to feel. Try the Oxboot now and see for yourself. It's your time. Chaya-brand.com.
The crowd's still very loud here. At times very difficult to hear.
Again, this is a Scotland-Wales game.
Yep.
2 of the loudest sets of fans I think we get in almost any sport.
Yeah, and even though Team Wales has opened it up, that hasn't stopped any of the fervor coming from the crowd.
I've seen a Scotland fan shirt that says, "We win or we lose, we all will still booze." I think that is a wonderful stuff. They enjoy the sport. They'll cheer for Scotland in any sport, win, lose or draw. That's a lovely support to have there for Team Scotland here at the World Cup. If you get a chance to see the crowd shot, you will see the inflatable unicorns of Scotland.
Yes.
Which is crazy. The Scottish fans, big fans of the inflatable, and Team Wales following them. We do see a couple of inflatable dragons in the crowd as well. number 7 Mort for Wales against number 50 Peacock. You still giggling at the inflatable unicorns?
I just love any international events because you get the fan representation is so amazing. As
Lee Jammer goes to Mort. Yeah. Penalty picked up by 316, the captain for Wales, Thrill Collins.
I tell you, Mort really tiptoed the inside in turn 2 there.
And so the pivot riot there has picked up a forearms penalty. Gone to the box as Peacock makes their way through for their first scoring passes. Kemp picks up a penalty. Another penalty picked up for Scotland, though, for number 0. That is Phoenix.
And it's again another one of those penalties that hurts because Mort was pretty well walled up until that penalty occurs. Against 2, Mort's going to be able to leverage her body, get herself a little bit lower, and slice right through the 2 wall.
Yep. Blitzkrieg definitely running this clock long, trying to get that penalty box. They know they can stay on track usually. So I think if I were in Blitzkrieg's position, I'd be running this one long, let Scotland come out as well because they're probably going to pick up more penalties. More on the outside edge, goes into a little bit of tumble.
Yeah, we've got 3 bodies down on the front stretch. Mort is going to call that off.
Yeah.
You know, and the one thing I really like about watching the Wales Jammers is they come in with a head of steam, but they get those shoulders, they get those shoulders turned and that body down, and they're able to knife through the blocking of Scotland. As we've watched other games throughout the tournament, so many times people come in square with those shoulders square.
Carrying a lot of that speed.
Don't get down low, don't get the feet moving, and that's when they get stopped and need help. Yep. We get started right here with Sally Jones and Patterson.
It's all the 7s here with Sally Jones versus Patterson. 3 7s for
Jones. Look at that.
2 for Patterson, and Patterson slips through the same gap. Jones opened up. Got about 20 feet between the 2 jammers here, but Scotland with the front track position. Risky one here for Jones. Got to time this call off right.
Yeah, nice job by Jones. Realizes she's not going to be able to outrun the front of that pack, so she turns around, calls that one off. And I believe that will be donut holes. Or potatoes, as I've been told.
The interesting one, the coach Techno calling, I know exactly what he's calling for. He's calling for a point to be added as the Welsh skater jumped onto the track after Patterson had passed, therefore conceding their point.
Sure.
Risky one though, because the Scottish block return force did the exact same thing, so if he'd got the point, so would have Wales.
We can start right here. That's going to be Semple up against Boris. Semple this time finding some room up to the front.
Semple with 4 in front of her. Phoenix comes in with the power hit, breaking apart the Welsh wall. Semple still can't, but cans. Outside edge, Semple, lead jammer, Scotland.
It's going to be the first lead jam for Scotland in a while. They've not had very many this entire half.
Not at all. But going towards the end of the period, it's good to get their tails up as Semple picks up some points. Scotland are going to run it. Techno indicating keep swinging. Scotland close up with a big braced 3 on Boris. Semple on a second scoring pass, takes the outside line, picks up a 4.
And Scotland right now showing what they can do when they keep their blockers on the track. Boris has been an amazing foe. Very powerful skater.
But Boris locked up behind the brace 3. The Star's been passed over the top though to the Welsh pivot, completing their pass. As the Star was passed for most of it, they're only picking up 2 points. The Welsh pivot picked up. Semple is fired up there in front of us, pounds the chest to her crowd.
And as you were saying before, going into the half with some momentum makes a big difference.
Yeah, some teams are second half teams as well, so taking that momentum into it can really fire a team up, get them going. Bit of a chicken dance there from Seaton at the line.
I think that was invented where I came from.
That is the half currently Wales almost outscoring Scotland 2-1 in what could have been a very, very close game if it wasn't for some serious penalty problems for Scotland.
Yeah, and of course we know that's going to be an issue in the second half. They're going to have to play it pretty clean, or they're going to have to play without a few players.
Yep.
And so from Event City in Manchester, inside the Trafford Center, I'm Bob
nearby
Knox.
the Trafford Center.
Are we right next to it?
Next
We're
door.
not actually considered part of it.
I don't know. I'm not.
I'm not sure either. I think it's a different zip code.
Who knows?
Anyway, this is Bob Noxious
and
for
Captain
Malice.
Mouse. We'll be back in about 14 minutes. Good morning. We're back here at the Roll Line track for the second half of Team Scotland versus Team Wales. Team Wales in a commanding lead, 144 points to Scotland's 78, as Peacock takes the start for Scotland versus number 13, Boris. Alongside me today, the wonderfully talented Bob Noxious. Hello, Bob.
Who?
You.
No. You've got me confused with somebody else. There's no question. Actually, we've got a jammer cover down on the track.
And it is Peacock, and Boris has realized the helmet cover has come off of their helmet. They've had to drop back and recycle. That could have been very unfortunate there for the Welsh jammer. Peacock, though, on a scoring pass at the front, slips the inside, 5 points. Scotland carrying momentum of the first half into the second.
First half appeared to be all Team Wales until about the last jam or two, as they took a little momentum into halftime. As you had said, Captain Malice, they bring it back out in the second half. The helmet cover coming off of Boris was kind of a lucky situation for them.
But Peacock picking up a 12-point pass without reply. 13 do have been corrected by the jam referee. Whilst we go through, let's talk about the penalty trouble we got here, because Scotland get putting themselves in a bit of a hole. Number 03, Shorty on 5 penalties, 07, Liston on 6, and number 11, Crazy Legs on 4, and a light smattering throughout the rest of the team. Wales, though, mostly okay, apart from the captain, 316, Thrill Collins on 6 penalties. We will see some foul outs if we're not careful. Mort, though, at the front, picking up the lead at jammer for Wales, as Lansborough is stuck in a strong defensive formation.
And I'll tell you, Mort actually was 64 points in the first half.
Oof.
Boris was the one that looked like they were dominant. Boris with 53.
Yeah, Mort, the powerhouse jammer, who's just picked up a penalty. It is a misconduct penalty, maybe engaging without both feet on the ground.
And Scotland continues to roll here in the second half. We're only a couple minutes in, but we've seen the points change in a hurry as you see Lansborough make that last pass through the pack.
Only the second
5.
Yeah, only the second penalty for Mort there. But this is really going to start building some more momentum for Scotland here. And trouble early doors for Wales might rattle them here in the second.
Lansborough has had 10 points in the first half. Was the second highest scorer for Team Scotland.
Behind Peacock, I believe.
Yes, absolutely. Who had 38 and has 51 at the moment.
Lansborough picking up a late cut call here. And an in-sub. I think for not leaving the track fast enough, took a leisurely line directly instead of going straight off the track.
Yeah, that's exactly what Scotland did not need.
Yep.
Just when it looked like Lansborough had the advantage. Going to sit down for a minute.
Yeah, Scotland again just digging that hole for themselves. All credit to Wales here, putting on a wonderful display of blocking and jamming, but Scotland not helping themselves here. Big offense from the inside for the Santos.
Oh, nice work right there. And a nice block. Just set a little pick for Mort. That was Pip Gray. And that's all you need is a little positional blocking once in a while. Give yourself some room on the inside or outside line.
Clarification to the blocker in the bin from the referee Schreff. as Sally Jones takes the star for Wales, 777. Unopposed as Lansborough is still sat in the mid, obviously, with that double penalty. Lead jammer to Sally Jones after 14 seconds. And Scotland's penalty woes continue.
And there we see Lansborough finally out of the box after serving 2 penalties. The second one for insubordination. Lansborough finds room on the inside. She's got the star stash, gonna put it back on her head. That'll be her initial pass.
Shorty trying to slow Jones down at the front, can't grab a hold with the hips there. 3-on-3 for the blockers as each team has a player currently seated, so more than 10 seconds for each of them. Wales is lead down to 63 points from the halftime score.
And we're going to see Boris and Patterson step up for the respective teams. Boris, very, very powerful. Tremendous first half. And Patterson here is going to be looking to make a difference for Team Scotland.
We're also getting some clarification on points and I think some other stats as well. During this clarification, let's have a quick shout out to Strong Athletic. Strong Athletic believe that every human has the right to celebrate their strength, play sport, be active, find their power, speak their voice, and be seen. StrongAthletic.com.
And if you just happen to be joining us, you are watching Team Scotland versus Team Wales. Team Wales up 163 to 100. We have a timeout at the moment. I am Bob Noxious, sitting alongside Captain Malice.
And the wonderful Sonia Blade joining us in the production.
Absolutely.
Here.
Sonia passing along some nice stats for us.
Keeping us up to date with all the important numbers. Got a wonderful representation from both teams here in the crowd. Our rough head count figures put us at around 600 supporters cheering on for both teams here.
And we're talking first game of the day.
Oh yes,
which we know can be pretty quiet. Not this group.
Yeah, early morning on the Saturday.
Maybe they've been up since last night. That's always a possibility.
It is. It is. People do enjoy a long endurance roller derby session.
There's going to be a slight delay of minutes while they get the scoreboard to keep accurate time again.
Okay, it is a technical hiccup with the scoreboard. And it's important to remember for those of you who do not know, the scoreboard has to be accurate for both teams watching. So have a quick couple minutes whilst they sort this out. So obviously we talked a little bit about the penalties earlier. Bob, tell us all about the lead jammers. How's that been going for both teams?
Lead jam in the first half. We had 12 lead jams for Team Wales. That was again versus 7 for Scotland. And of course, but Scotland really had theirs. The 5 difference was really a dry spell for Scotland, particularly as we saw Boris come out on the track. Boris just really pounding them for lead jams and putting up big points on top of that.
Yeah,
it actually felt bigger. It actually felt like it was a bigger difference than that. Not that that 5 doesn't make a big difference, but I think it's just because there was such a long period of time that Scotland was not able to pull lead jam. That dry stretch really hurt.
And that dry stretch also really hurt them on the scoreboard. They didn't score for a significant number of jams when we think about it.
Yes.
After that big jam, they took the lead, I think, in the second or third jam.
Yeah, Peacock with a 28-point run.
And then it just a dry spell for a significant portion, a couple 4 points here, but Wales comfortably in control.
I mean, the good news for Team Scotland is the fact that their offense has looked pretty good so far in the first 5 minutes.
Yeah, when they've got the players on the track, they are competing.
Yes.
And they are competing hard for every point. I think our scoreboard is up to date and sorted now. Quick shout out here to Roller Derby City. Roller City is a skater-owned and operated merch and uniform company, UK-based, shipping worldwide. We supply uniforms, merch for teams, leagues, roller derby brands, and events, including all the merch here for Roller Derby World Cup, as well as individual customized items such as scrimmage tops, official gear, and referee shirts. So it's Roller Derby. I am currently wearing my official Roller Derby World Cup team announcer shirt made by the lovely people at Roller Derby City.
To match the one that we got at the Men's World Cup.
Indeed. A significant proportion of my wardrobe is currently made by Rory City, I feel.
Yeah.
The Scottish fans in full voice here, backing Patterson with the star against Boris. Boris goes jammer on jammer. Patterson slips around the outside, runs into a strong braced three from Wales, and here we have the scrum pack before the pivot line. Patterson breaks some space, sees into two, pop to the inside, gets a bit more space, is pushing on the chest of the pivot number 6, opens up Lee Jammer to Scotland, but Dos Santos popping her up on the outside edge. Boris now at the front on the chest of Liston. Liston pushing Boris on the outside, and the cut is drawn by number 7, Little.
That was amazing. Little knew that she had gotten that cut drawn, pulled back, had her hands up in the air, sure enough got the call.
Yeah, Boris was tunnel visioned on Liston there, only looking at the jammer, the blocker that had knocked them off track.
And Patterson completing her first pass for the full 5 points, as Boris still sitting in the box.
And as much quickly as Chantel Evan leaves the bin to return to track, the penalty box takes another blocker and a third as Dos Santos heads in. So now Wales with Boris back on track, but down to 2 blockers.
And Boris looking to play a little defense, does so. Going to catch Patterson with a hip check.
And dragging her all the way back. Pass says, okay, fine, I'll call the jam then. Good work by the Welsh jammer there. I do love the jammer that is spatially and tactically aware enough to go defensive when needed.
And unafraid enough.
Oh, of course.
There are so many times you see these jammer drag races where you know that there's an advantage to tipping one of them over.
Yep. A lot to be said of the joys of some jammer on jammer action.
Yeah, you can't get that on satellite TV.
Number 64, Semple for Scotland, looking to carry this momentum forward as Mort, number 7 for Wales, as a brace 3. Mort shimmying the shoulders through the 3, grabs on the outside, but Phoenix with the shutdown slows the momentum, and Semple takes advantage. The second lead jammer in a row here for Scotland.
Yeah, Semple doing a nice job of tiptoeing through the inside at turn number 2.
And number 6, it is Chantel Evans going to the bin again. She only just came out in the previous jam. Mort stashed the star, cleans through for their initial.
In the meantime, Semple going to put up another 4 points.
And Wales here seeing the momentum shift, calling a team time out. This is what we talked about coming out of the first half, that momentum for Scotland going through now into the second and rattling the Welsh.
And of course, from the coaching standpoint, Team Wales doing the right thing and calling this off, because the momentum has been all Scotland so far in the beginning of the second half. That deficit has closed now to a mere
50 points. Easy mouth there. Sisu mouthguard, the official mouthguard of the 2018 Roller Derby World Cup. They're doing some lovely work. One of their representatives stayed the night in my house last night because he had messed up his hotel bookings. So Blitzkrieg sat down the Welsh team and sends out 4 skaters as Evans is sat in the bin with the pivot stripe. Brace 3 set up here for Wales in front of the Scottish wall. I think that is Shorty. Looks to be trying to pick, sorry, not Shorty, it's 102. To Seaton. Looks to try to be picking the outside line. Oh, beautifully done there.
Landsborough doesn't not quite able to keep her feet in bounds. She takes a hip check,
but did
just
get
at
lead.
the end.
Did get the lead.
Yes.
So in control is Landsborough, but having to work her way through entirely again, and does so.
Wow.
Scotland with their tails up and the wind in their sails now, with 3 lead jams in a row and scoring points as Landsborough hits her first scoring pass, and Jones is at the front completing their initial pass. The pivot, Little, though, gets an out of play call. Landsborough picks up a forearms penalty, though, and again this penalty's killing Scotland's momentum.
Well, that one was particularly a shame because She had offensive blocking there. I think took that power step and it closed up really quickly, and sometimes those forearms just come up to brace yourself.
Yeah. Hook picking up a direction of gay play penalty. So Lansborough is released though, because we do have a Welsh jammer in the box, so it will be the switcheroo.
Or as we'd say in Wisconsin, a do-si-do.
Do-si-do. Lansborough though gets through this time, completes her first scoring pass for 5 points. Those points probably already mostly earned already in a previous attempt when picking up the penalty. Lansborough going on a second scoring pass as Jones is locked down by the brace 3 of Scotland here at the pivot line, at the jammer line.
Nice job by Bexon right there. Lansborough almost in the clear. Bexon's going to get Peace running in the inside, and there we go.
Yeah.
Nice quick step on the outside, and as we know, Mallet, sometimes acceleration more important than speed.
Always, especially in a drag race when it comes to jammers. Big credit has to go to Seaton there for clearing out the outside line for Lansborough. Points up on the board for Scotland. 12 points to Scotland for Wales is 5. Chipping away at this lead continues to Scotland as we now have a 43-point differential.
And the great thing about this is every jammer has contributed.
Oh, yeah.
It's not been on the shoulders of Peacock as we saw in the first half. We're seeing every one of the jammers now turn some success, and Peacock back out on the track. And just as they were about to start, we're going to get an official timeout.
Yep. Smile on the face of Schreff there, like it's an official timeout. Calm down, guys.
I think Schreff just always has a smile on his face, but it's not like, you don't know if it's a happy smile or I just put like my socks in your lunchbox kind of smile.
He is a mischievous character.
Yeah, he is. I call him the instigator.
Yes,
yeah,
he's known for this.
Yeah.
Good level of whimsy to the referee. Looks like we're going to have a clarification with the scoreboard. So this is here at the Roll Line track. Roll Line, the Italian skating experience since 1999. I believe that's even before your time in Derby, Bob. Is that correct?
Well, yeah, I go back to the Cretaceous period, is what somebody once told me.
So we
I was never really good at natural sciences, so I'm not even sure how old that goes. So number Peacock gets started right here.
Yeah, against number 17, Jenkill, fighting behind that Scottish brace 3. And as we've seen here, penalties not happening as thick and as fast for Scotland, and that is showing on the scoreboard as well as on track, as Peacock is being recycled by Evans.
Peacock's such a fighter. Boris as well.
Those
two really powerful opponents for jammers.
No quitting either of them.
No.
You're going to stand in front of them, they're going to fight through. You leave them a space, they'll take that space, but all fight.
Oh, and that was the fight right there. Scratch and clawed for everything that Peacock just got.
Yeah, both of them are the American definition of the word scrappy.
Yes.
Very much fighters.
And this is Jenkill's second time jamming in the game.
Completes her initial pass. Peacock restricted to 1 point though there. Good work by the Welsh blockers at the apex of corners 1 and 2. A risky place to defend, as I said earlier, but the Welsh doing quite well there. Patterson with the star for Scotland. Mort with the red star of Wales. Mort there with a brace 3 in front, trying to find a gap to push through.
Oh, Patterson. Patterson just going to find a little room up the middle, get out of those toe stops, and flee the pack.
Multiplayer penalty issued to Wales, though. Disrupts the wall at the worst time. Patterson out, picks the points, doesn't hear the call. Calls in time. Wait for the fist in the sky. No, not in time. 1 point picked up by Mort.
It's going to be, it's going to be a 4-1 run, but what a nice job by the offensive blocking in that, just coming out of turn number 1. Clear lane.
Yep. And then that penalty coming at the worst possible time for Wales.
And I'll tell you, Team Scotland really, really turning up the heat with 5 straight lead jams.
And that lead is now down to 39 points, Bob Noxious. 64 Semple here, trying to continue this momentum for Scotland as it's 7-7-7. Sally Jones for Wales. Semple sees the outside line, tries to go, jukes back to the inside, stuck behind that brace 3. Rotating there, I think that is Dos Santos on the outside edge, locking down Semple.
And as you watch it on your screen, you can just see what a scrap that whole thing is. But in the end, it's going to be Jones that's going to come out first.
Stars pass though to Shorty, who's been popped off the outside by a combination there of number 1, Dos Santos, and the excellent work there of number 62, Pip Gray.
And the star had been passed, I believe. No, I haven't. Sorry, she had stashed it.
No, it's passed. It is passed to the pivot Shorty,
yep.
Who's received a misconduct penalty heading to the bin. Quick out of play penalty issued there to number 11. That is Crazy Legs. Going to be in a little penalty trouble here, closing in on the dreaded 7 foul out.
What a nice job of that 3-wall, manipulating and separating the blockers to take advantage of that power jam.
Good jam here for Wales.
That's what we just don't see enough of, and makes the difference really between teams such as Wales and some of the teams that are ranked behind them.
Those is the subtleties of the blocker play here that are wonderful, wonderful.
Yeah, fantastic.
Good 15-point jam for Wales here. A, killing Scotland's momentum. B, icing Shorty in the box as the jammer. And C, they're sending out Boris. Boris rounds the outside of 39, goes into a brace 2 at the front. Little trying to hold Boris up, but can't by herself. Boris takes lead, jammer.
Yeah, Little throwing everything that she has at Boris.
Yeah, rotating with Boris on the outside edge of corner 1, but couldn't lock Boris down. Once you lock Boris down, though, Boris does tend to struggle, but you've got to get a hold of him.
Yeah, that's a great observation.
We saw quite a lot here from Team Sweden, their ability to lock down jammers and hold them. And something here Scotland are going to really need to do with Boris. He's popped off the outside. Aggressive tap of the hips there to call the jam before Shorty can get on the scoring pass.
Little slap at hands as she was finally able to catch Boris on the outside.
Yeah, Boris hearing the same conversation coming from our house announcers about the aggressive hip tap. So now Wales there with 20 points scored in the last 2 jams, unopposed by Scotland. That lead stretched back out now to a 59-point lead for Wales with 14 minutes and change on the clock.
And here we have our 2 heavy hitters from the jamming stables.
It's Peacock versus Moore.
And Peacock. Oh, Peacock is just...
Does get lead, but was slowed down enough by the Welsh blocker for Mort to take the advantage position.
What a nice job by Mort.
Yeah.
Peacock really did all the fighting, and Mort just traveled in the wake.
Yeah. Disagreeing slightly here with the bench's decision to wait to call off. Wales having a couple of players in the bin to Scotland's 1. Would have been wiser to ice that quicker and keep them there for the advantage here for Landsborough for even longer. As Wales do have a blocker standing on 1 seating, 3-2 in favour of Scotland for the blockers. There, that brace 3 locks down Sally Jones as Landsborough takes full advantage of the blocker deficit, picks up lead jammer for Scotland.
And that's awesome. We see Landsborough there getting the crowd riled up as she goes through. She's going to make a full pass.
Risky decision here. The start has been passed to the pivot, Thrill Collins, who is on 6 penalties. If Thrill Collins picks up a penalty here, this will give a remaining 2-minute power jam to Scotland. Very risky decision.
And I'm sure it's one of those decisions that as you're playing didn't really come into mind.
Yeah, this is one of, you see it happen on occasion. It is soul crushing for the team that end up killing their own jammers momentum by putting them in for a full 2 minutes.
And Landsborough with a nice job of working her way around the hook.
Yeah. Some strong defense work here from Scotland has locked down Thrill Collins in the bin. Landsborough spins, and picks up a forearms penalty. Must have been levering with the forearm during the spin.
Sometimes you get the crowbar in there to open the door.
Yep. It's all about the impact spectrum, though. You can use momentum. Got to have big work here from Liston and Little to lock down Thrill Collins, who has no other option but to see out this jam now with the remaining 30 seconds on the clock.
And Thrill Collins finally going to get through.
Yeah, but moving very slowly now. And Blitzkrieg, the bench goes in, can calm down, slow. I think he's now worked out that, yes, Thrill Collins is on 6 penalties, and this may end quite badly indeed. But
yeah, no, I think you're absolutely right. Otherwise, we would expect a lot more aggression right now.
Yeah, Thrill is levering in gently, moving laterally, not engaging with any real gusto, and that's allowing Scotland to lock her right down. Jam comes to a natural conclusion. Oh no, it went the other way. Liston picking up her 7th. That's a big loss for Scotland.
Absolutely.
Liston played 19 minutes without picking up that 7th.
So what starts out as Jones jamming turns into kind of a
sudden death moment.
Yeah, as it gets past the Collins, who's sitting on the 6 fouls. Jones, who had 24 points in the first half and second half and a lot of success, really locked down this last time.
Sorry, the same thing has happened to Chantel Evans, number 6. Did receive a lot of penalties in this second half. So both teams having a real big player for them foul out in the same jam. So very interesting how that's going to impact both teams. They have put number 0 Phoenix in the place of Liston for Scotland. And once we see there's Optimus, I think, for Wales sat down. Yes, 106. Optimus is sat for Wales. So they're both going to come out from the bin with heat at about the same time. Maybe change the dynamic of this jam going forward. Leeds being chipped away again there as 149 plays 195. It's a 46-point profit for Wales. Big scrum start, as often is the case for Boris.
And Semple just knowing that she can look and see where that line is.
Wonderful, I don't know if intentional work though, by 191, which is Jones to take Semple off on the inside.
Kind of like letting her go of the rope in tug of war.
Semple though is out on a scoring pass, and Phoenix came out right in front of her for a battering ram.
No, but you're right. I tell you, and you see this throughout the tournament. The smarter blockers will know once in a while when you've got somebody who's got everything in their body leveraged against you, just pull up.
Yep.
And of course, that
physics
player's
work
going to hit
for
the
you.
ground. Yeah.
Oof. So yeah, 48-point lead here for Wales. Mort with the start against Patterson. We do have an official timeout. I think this might be another foul out for Scotland. We knew they were going to start hitting. That is 0-3. Shorty has fouled out for Scotland. That is 2 big players and 2 jams for Scotland lost here.
Shorty, of course, being the go-to pivot.
Yep.
So that also takes some quick feet off of the track in the event that they need that relief.
Yep. As we said during the first half, going into the second, the penalty box was definitely going to come into play here as things went on.
See, this is one of those scenarios where there's a sponsor going, oh, I should have.
Well, the sponsor of the penalty box is Cheese Balls. Cheese Balls here, obviously sponsoring with their wonderful handmade bearings. Quick shout out as well to the Girls on Track Foundation. Did you know that by age 14, girls are dropping out of sports at twice the rate of boys? We think Royal Derby can help change that stat. Learn more at girlsontrackfoundation.org.
And actually, I do know quite a lot about it as I sit on the advisory board.
Do you really?
I do.
That's a wonderful organization, though. It's something
and I'll tell you, it's an amazing honor to be a part of it.
It's fantastic. You have a team timeout now, I believe being completed by Scotland. I think they're going to have to readjust their lines after losing 2 skaters to foul outs. At least that is what I would be doing in that situation. Sure.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Big shout out as well to Sucker Punch Skate Shop, as your original thoroughly owned and devoted skate shop. Sucker Punch is dedicated to helping you with honest advice to find out exactly what you need and more. Our technical know-how and expertise is unrivaled, as are available in your favorite gear, fashion throughout all Europe. Visit us at suckerpunchskateshop.com.
And Mort's going to be back out on the track, as is
Patterson, number 77.
Yep. And Mort's going to get through first, going to become your lead jammer.
But here we have, again, that revolving penalty door for Scotland. They got 2 in now, so 2 on track to 3 Welsh blockers. Mort runs into one, bounces onto the chest of 750. Brute, who can't slow her down.
Yeah, that was really a nice call right there. You've got a strong jammer out on the track and only 2 blockers for the other team.
Yep.
They let the defense do the work and they just keep going. And with time on their side, burning as much of that clock as they can is as important as scoring points.
Yeah, Patterson on a scoring pass. Blitzkrieg was indicating the call off, but decided against it. I think he was more his back on scoring pass, and Patterson is locked down behind a cube wall of Welsh blockers. Do have Seaton in the mix. They're trying to break it up with no real joy. All the blockers now involved in disrupting each other's defensive techniques and tactics, as a direction of gameplay penalty is issued to a Welsh blocker, allows Patterson to break through.
And that's of no surprise, because it almost looked like Patterson and Sheehan Patterson were trading blows out there.
Yeah, but this entire time though Patterson was fighting, Mort was scoring.
Yep.
And that's the difference maker here. Mort been very able to just rack up points unopposed, because the Welsh blockers are doing their job very well.
You can afford to sit one down when your jammer's putting 10, 15 points on the board.
Especially as Scotland cannot stay out of the penalty box. As I mentioned earlier, Seaton, they're doing some good work now, doing some sitting down in the cheese balls penalty box. Cut track on Mort though, with 5 seconds on the clock. Means Scotland will be starting with a full 30-second power jam going into jam 15.
But of course, we are too. Scotland right now is to the moment where everything's got to work. The only way they get back into this game is to completely dominate this next 7.5 minutes.
They've got 7.5 minutes to score 61 points, unopposed.
And the thing is, they have the jamming core that can do it. If they keep the blockers on the track and keep them in sync. We've seen Peacock already pull a 28-point run, and we certainly know that Peacock can pull multiple jams. That's not going to be an issue.
The biggest I've seen so far this long weekend was Team Aotearoa picked up a 42-point jam, which was very impressive here. Peacock going to need to replicate that kind of score. Wales, though, sprinting at the front. They've got a full contingent of 4 blockers. And Scotland down to 3. Way back on track.
Nice job there. Peacock going to slide off a block, find some room on the inside lane.
Credit where credit's due, though. Wales there making Peacock take 16 seconds to be awarded lead jammer. And here we are at the end of the penalty. Peacock only on her course scoring pass. They are now engaging on the shoulders as Mort is back in. Peacock popped off to the outside and Mort straight through on her initial pass, much faster than Peacock's, unfortunately. So Peacock got to get through and call it.
Almost wonder if Peacock right there actually wasn't in the clear to come back on the track. She actually...
Yep.
Peacock had actually put two feet back onto the track.
But I think it was a stumble back on the track and then immediately yielded. So that yield rules really helped a lot of jammers who do that accidental stumble back.
Yeah, with that rule change.
Yeah. Not sorry, Laurie with the start for the first time in a little while here. So see how Laurie can pick up some points. Sees the outside line, spins, lead jammer Scotland. Oh, good weapon to have in the back pocket there. Not sorry, Laurie picking up a quick lead jammer. Oh, as Sally Jones takes the big stumble down to the inside from Seaton. Not sorry, Laurie picks up a big 5 points there at corner 1. The Scottish fans screaming their hearts out. 50 points the deficit currently. Not sorry, Laurie took a beautiful little hip check from Pip Gray. Not sorry, Laurie knows she's getting a misconduct penalty. Head straight to the bin. as she went sliding into the legs of the jammer, 191 Jones.
And you have to think that this could be the final nail in the coffin.
Yeah. Laurie there on quite the tear and now losing all that momentum. And Sally Jones, I believe, still on the initial pass.
And we're going to get a clockwise block that's going to be called.
62 Pip Gray, I believe. Oh no, it was a Jones on a scoring pass, I apologize. Picks up the 5. Laurie, though, back out of the bin, so nearly not much of a penalty kill there. Laurie picking up her 4 points as well. +4 in favor of Scotland this jam with 30 seconds on the jam clock. Jones locked down here by Little at the front.
Oh, my. Laurie was little room on the outside, going to take advantage of it, getting by Jones. Looked like Jones had her dead to rights.
But no, little spin, and Laurie is gone. And again on the inside. Woo! Big jump by Scotland. Jammer there. 18 points to 5. This jam, 4 minutes on the clock. Is the comeback on here, Bob Noxious, as we close down this jam? Bad decision, I think, there, as Scotland did not call the jam with seconds remaining. They need every second.
That's
here.
Amazing. And
23
and it was
jam.
so obvious from the second that Not Sorry Laurie took the jam line that she was just fired up and ready to give it everything she had. She came off that line as fast as anybody has done so all day long.
Yep. Wales using their team timeout here, which works in Scotland's favour. It's a risky decision. They need to set up and refocus, but Scotland want that clock killed. If Boris out here versus Semple, and it is a 4-on-3 blocker advantage for once in favour of Scotland. They need to lock Boris down and score freely. If they can lock Boris down and maybe get one of those 4-on penalties Boris has done in this game so far, the comeback could be on.
Well, they've got the time to do it, and they've got enough timeouts to do it.
They have indeed. They've even got their official review still, so that may come into play as well. If this is a good jam for them, I would be expecting the official review on anything and everything to try and get them something
that's
more.
Right.
Semple lining up behind Boris. Boris not afraid to go defensive. We've seen it before, but Semple takes the outside line, runs into brace 3. It is Phoenix in the mix, opens up the inside line, but Dos Santos shuts it down. Boris on the outside. Can Boris be stopped? Boris is stopped by Riot, but not long enough. Boris again at the front. Lead jammer Wales. But Semple's right there and steals the inside line. Takes the advantage position on track, but stumbles on corner 2.
Just unfortunate. Feet moving so fast, just lost balance in turn 2 and hit the ground. But still not far behind.
Not at all.
But it's killing the time.
That is it. This is now the fight isn't against Wales. The fight is against the clock. Oh, Boris pops the hips around the outside of Riot. Oh, and Semple picks up a 4-on penalty. And here comes Techno, who's calling his official review. Yeah, we all knew that was going to happen.
Yeah, exactly.
Scotland picking up 1 point before the 4-on penalty to Wales' 4. It is a 43-point lead now for Wales with 3:15 on the period clock in jam.
Well,
17.
and taking the official review so that they can stop, so they get set for the last couple of jams did save some time on the clock. So they did do Team Scotland a little bit of a favor.
Yep.
With Semple in the box, it certainly offsets it, though.
Yeah. Again, still the thing you want to call really quickly, though. The jam whistle goes, you got official review right away. You need to save every precious second.
Yeah.
I am a lover of clock management. And it is at this stage.
Well, as you and I both know, it's a fine art, and it's the difference between good coaching and great coaching. Yeah,
Ballistic Whistle, one of the best I've seen in clock management. He always has that stopwatch with him for exactly that purpose. So they had 3 minutes and 15, and as I said, Wales here no longer the real enemy of Scotland. It is the
there's no question.
So we do have the alternate official is going to come out and explain to us what's going on. Mort has only had 2 out of 6 leads this half. That in its own is a very impressive stat for most teams going up against the Welsh Jammer. They've been very, very impressive.
Very powerful.
My home leagues has played against Mort's home league on, I think, 4 occasions in the previous year and a half, and Mort has been a problem in every single one of them. Very, very explosive, very powerful. And when Mort loses the lead, very quickly out of the pack, regain some sort of advanced position.
Well, just the strength that Mort has to create openings on her own is such a huge advantage.
Okay. So the official review is a request by Scotland for a charging call against Green 1-3 Boris. And it has been upheld.
Wow.
So both jammers will be released as the charging call has been upheld, and Boris will sit in the bin. So both will be eligible for lead, both will be released, I believe, at the same time. Oh no, after 10 seconds, because Semple sat at the end of the jam. Now you got to worry, is that going to get...
So what we thought was just more of a timeout tactic turns out to produce results. Not only that, puts another timeout back on the board.
Indeed, and they are almost as important as power jams here. Clock management, as we say, is going to be everything here for Scotland. Bench manager Techno came in with a quick conversation again with one of the referees. 2-2 was indicated. It means a second point is awarded, as what being indicated by the Scotland Jam referee, because Boris would be sat in the bin, so the point will be available. Boris is out, but Semple is lead. Who there?
Oh, there we go.
The cut track.
That's the break that they were looking
and
for.
And Semple picks up this point. He's going to run it. Okay. I think then interesting. I can see the logic behind it. Semple round the hip, goes into chest of Bexon. Bexon can't stop her. Forearms penalty issued to Bexon. Semple is out.
Give Little some credit on that one. Able to take one of the blockers off of Semple, allows her to go one-on-one and get through.
And Semple calls that. And clock still ticking down as Scotland break the 200 mark.
Well, it looks like we've got a timeout.
Yeah, this is coming from Wales. An official review from Wales. That works in Scotland's favour.
Exactly.
So this is was Boris released at the end? Is Boris is sat. Boris is sat. So we'll have some time here. So we've had an official review, and they're going to have that lovely referee decision in the middle. The officials here keeping things under control. 2 minutes 14 on the clock. 34 points the difference. Going to be very, very interesting how this clock. And it is Peacock up to jam for Scotland. So in the second half, it was 7 leads for Wales, 11 for Scotland. In the first, it was 12 leads for Scotland. We have had a real turnaround in momentum here for the Jammers. Okay, so blitzkrieg there, the Welsh benchman requesting the cut call to be rescinded, and the referees have discussed this and agreed that the call will stand. The Wales have lost their official review. Boris will start from the box against Peacock, who is crouched in the runner's stance, sprinting down the straightaway. Wales rushing forward to corners 1 and 2. Boris standing, awaiting release. Peacock pops to the outside. Boris is released. Peacock is going to take the no pass, no penalty. Lead is open for Boris here. Boris trying to find some way through. Runs into the hip checks. 1-2. Bounces into Riot and Phoenix. Multiplayer block being issued on Phoenix. Boris pops to the outside, drops back onto the inside, popped by Riot. Peacock on a scoring pass, knocked to the inside by Wales. Boris at the front, runs on, getting stopped again by Scotland, but spins round. Lead jammer is awarded to Wales, and they're going to run with it. They want to kill some clock. That's wise here by Wales, though Peacock has scored the first scoring pass of 4 points. 1 minute and change left on both the jam and the period clock. Boris on a scoring pass, 1 to beat, picks up the points, matches Peacock. Differential and the clock now working in favour of Wales. Peacock rides the hit though from 191. Jones picks up another 4. Boris on a scoring pass, still killing time. Killing that clock right down here are Wales and Boris. Boris pops Phoenix off to the outside, but run back themselves by Riot. Forearms penalty being issued to Wales. Sorry, an out of play call. Peacock picks up the 5 though. Picking up that differential here on that jam. Peacock on yet another scoring pass. Boris slowed right down at the pack. Behind Riot, behind Phoenix. And Peacock picks up another scoring pass. We've got 20 seconds on the jam, 30 on the clock. And they'll expect a quick timeout call here from Scotland, as this differential is down now to 20 points. Less now that Boris has completed that scoring pass. Peacock though in again to score. Sees a gap round the outside, takes it, picks up points. Boris coming in though on a score, and 4 in front of it. Boris running into the wall. Did Boris pick up points? No points for Boris. 22-8. Picks that differential now to 20 points. Timeout called obviously by Scotland with 20 points in it and 7 seconds on the period clock. Whoo! Breathe. Those of you watching at home, breathe. It's Mort with the star for Wales. It's Semple with the star for Scotland. Mort not having a good second half. Mort struggling with the leads. Semple has been on fire. It's actually an official review from Scotland. They are going to be trying to get anything they can, a blocker penalty, a jammer penalty. It will all be worth something here as Scotland chased a lead and a victory at the dying gasps of this game here at the Roll Line track at the 2018 Roller Derby World Cup. For those of you watching at home, I'm sure you can tell this is a close, contested game. And obviously Scotland really hurt themselves in the first half with a lot of really unfortunate penalty trouble. The second half, Scotland have come out, they've put on a great display, they have chipped away this differential massively. It is in their hands and the hands now of the officials discussing what Techno, the Scottish bench coach, has requested. This is a long conversation. We have not had an alternate come out to us yet. This is going to be very interesting. It is Semple 2 out of 5 leads. Mort 2 out of 6. It's going to be very interesting how this goes. I am now going to have the alternate announcer come to us and let us know what's going on. As soon as I know, you will know. It is coming now. Okay, Techno there trying to get a power jam start, calling for a penalty on Boris. No call stands. It will not be a power jam start. Semple versus Mort for all the marbles. Scotland need 21 points, 20 to put it into an overtime jam. Semple takes the outside line. Mort trapped in a big fresh thing. Semple takes lead. That is step 1 for Scotland here. Lead jammer to Scotland. Mort very good though from fighting from the disadvantaged position. Pop to the outside. They have lost Dos Santos to a penalty. Semple on a scoring pass. Pop to the outside herself there by number 44, Gabrielle. and Mort is out. Mort is now on a scoring pass. Semple picks up the first pass of 4 points. Semple needs to be unopposed for 20 total points as Mort comes in on a scoring pass. Scotland need to try and force a penalty here on Mort. Mort rounds the edge on the chest of Little. Little fights but cannot hold Mort. Semple though through quickly, picks up a second scoring pass to the first from Mort. +4 on the differential. They still need +21 with a minute on the jam clock. Semple knocked to the inside by 88. Kemp run back. Mort nearly comes in too soon, but Gabriel popping off the Scottish blocker on the run back. Only 2 blocks in front of Mort. Big hit from inside to out by 750. Brute. Mort at the front being recycled just on the chest of number 7 and 102 Seaton. Little and Seaton now setting up that brace 3. Semple now fighting the clock. The clock is probably gone too hard, too far for Scotland to take this. 16 points the current differential, but points to be picked up in this scoring pass of both teams. Mort locked down at the front by a strong brace 3 from Scotland, now easing them open as the pack definition spreads. Mort gets some gap, gets through. 4 points on his even, 8 apiece in this jam. Semple picks up a further 4 points, 12-8 with 9 seconds left.
Yeah, that's gonna put the last nail in the coffin.
Yeah, Mort getting out there comfortably did put the pressure on. But a huge comeback from Scotland from a big 70-point differential at the end of the first to bringing it right down to an 11-point unofficial differential as Scotland are unofficially on 239 to Wales is 250.
Well, that's amazing because we were looking at a score at 4 minutes left. We were looking at a score that was different by 40+ points. And for them to trim that down, some nice clock management, actually a little help from Wales, particularly with that. And to be able to go ahead and put the people out there and close it up the way that they did and almost steal this, very impressive. And of course, as we know, as far as this goes, everybody has to remember that this is still really kind of a qualifier. So even though it is not a win for Team Scotland, being a very close game still works highly in their favor.
Looks like, yes, it is official final score. Scotland at 235 to Wales is 258. 15-point lead. And you have to give every credit to Scotland's fight back there in the second half.
Oh, my goodness, absolutely. And the second half was there. They really did own it. They came out from the very beginning and played their heart out. And it really, what it comes down to is you've got Wales with that nice spurt right in the middle of that half that really turns out to save them in the end.
Yeah, it really killed the momentum Scotland had built in the first.
Yeah, no question about it. So as far as our jammers go, we've got Jones with 37, Peacock with 35, Lansborough with 39, and Not So Sorry Laurie with 23 in this half.
So big points from Scotland there. Jones having all those wonderful jams, but credit where credit is due. I mean, Scotland with this fight making the second. Fantastic work. But again, they dug the hole they had to climb out of themselves in the first. That penalty box just that turnaround just really hurt them going into this.
I really think you got to give. So you have to give a lot of momentum credit to Not Sorry Laurie.
Yeah,
she was really the one where things kind of stalled out, and it looked like Team Scotland was completely doomed.
Came out with that big jam.
Yes.
And not just the points scored, but the way they were scored.
Yep.
Just that hyper fast, hyper aggressive, I'm going to get these points style.
Because it was really a level of energy that we hadn't seen out of anybody up to that point.
Yeah, and I think I'm looking at our statistician over here. I believe that was Not Sorry Laurie's only jam of the second.
Yes.
I mean, obviously coming out with that, I don't know if Laurie is carrying an injury or maybe not 100% fit. It's a long weekend, but definitely very impressive display there by the Scottish jammer.
Well, I think she just earned the nickname the Spark Plug.
Have to let that one be known as well. So that is us here at the Roll Line track